Good morning. Happy Friday, guys.
I know it just has stopped.
Um, yeah, I'm gonna let you get started.
Hey guys, we just want to introduce ourselves first and foremost for those who don't know who we are. I'm Carissa Mason and this is Josie Burke. Today we wanted to gather everybody for a quick and dirty on how to start your own Facebook niche. Josie runs a great group for her team that she's on right now, and we thought that this would be a great thing to put out to you guys, especially at the beginning of the year, for you guys to connect with people out there and networks. And I mean, we all know since COVID, it's like nothing's the same. Everybody wants to show up, but they want to show up on Zoom. They want to, be digital. So we wanted to share some of the things that Josie's doing and some of the things. I belong to a really robust Facebook niche group. It's not mine. I wish it was, but there's probably well over 7,000 members, and it is a what would you call it, Josie? It's like not a they feed each other, and that's really the point. Is we want to build a community that we continually feed each other. So without further ado, Josie, would you like to say something before we get started?
Yeah, actually, so thanks for joining us today. I know several of you, probably not everybody in the group. So I'm Josie Burke. Like she said, I'm in Connecticut. I'm the director of operations marketing. I work with my sister. So I always put that disclaimer because our dynamic is a little different, right? We're related. Actually, just realizing you also wanted to record, or are you already recording?
We should be recording. Let me just make sure. It says pause, stop
It shows
recording.
that
We're
it is.
recording. Yep, we're recording.
It's
Okay,
recording.
Yep, we got it.
thank you.
We can send it out to everybody. We want to make sure you guys get it
Perfect.
all taken.
Yes, yes. You guys are going to get the replay tomorrow with the playbook that we did. And so just some of the takeaways that you guys are going to get today. Really the how-to, right, of setting up the Facebook group. That is going to be your playbook. It's truly like a step-by-step, super granular for those that are not tech savvy, so that it walks you through all the different kind of features, what they mean, different things that you can set up within your group settings so that you can use it to the best of your ability. What's the value for you, right? Like why bother? Why do a Facebook group? Figuring out ways to choose your niche. Some free and cost-effective ways to engage with the group members. I know that's the part where a lot of people struggle once they start a group, and then ways to get others involved. And so, like Krista said, so we are jokingly the operational mavens. We started the Real Estate Operations Institute last summer, just out of a need. We both are operations professionals in our different areas, and there just isn't a lot. Like there are certain leaders in the industry, and they're all great. Well, the ones that I know are all great. And yet there was still a need for just more education. Like I was having different one-on-ones almost every week with people needing help for different things and systems. And so this is a way that we decided to kind of come together, collaborate on this, and we're excited. This is our first free class of 2024. There will be future classes. We launched our big inaugural course in the fall, which was Profitable Systems Made Simple. So we'll be relaunching that in the spring. And we want to add value and help people kind of get out of their own way a little bit, remove the self-sabotage, remove the limiting beliefs, and figure out how you can use systems that we already use to really help your business. And so one thing I can say, and I actually went back and looked this up. So when you're talking about the Facebook groups, our team, the Valerie King team in Connecticut, we have had our group started in 2020 during COVID. Because of COVID, really, like it was an idea that came from the Never Ending Referrals program. If you've ever heard of it, it's a DTD2 leaders. For those who might know what that is, you can look it up, Never Ending Referrals, I think .com maybe. And they have this idea: how can you stay more connected with your sphere? Through Facebook, right? Obviously. But how can you make it more purposeful? So to me, creating a group where I can easily just target different posts, comments, events just to that group was the easiest option. So during COVID, I had times of sitting at home, right? To just pull up all the clients, dump them into this Facebook group. We decided to call it our inner circle, and we just kind of ran with it. We are a team that does a lot of events, and so we needed a way to pivot very quickly because we weren't going to be able to see people in person for a while, right? So leaning into virtual, leaning into Facebook, like people are just going to be at home on their phones, on their computers. So how can we tap into that? And that's really how it started and evolved. And since then, we have a couple hundred members in the group. Not all clients are on Facebook, right? And there are just some where as many times as you invite them, they never end up clicking the accept. So they stay in the group, they'll kind of see it, they think that they're in the group, but they never click accept, and then it kicks them back out. So we do over 20 million in volume for the last few years in business. And when I looked it up for 2023, we had about 25% of our business came specifically from referrals in that group. Now, in general, we're a team that does 80 to 85% repeat and referral business every year. So to be able to say that a quarter of that came specifically from members within that group is a lot, right? And it was about over 7 million in volume for the team. So it really is a way to really stay connected with your people, to really maximize kind of your exposure, stay top of mind, and generate referrals. That is really the goal of this, to teach you how to generate repeat and referral business like we do, but also adding value to your clients in kind of a different way, right?
I want to pause you right there.
Yeah.
You just said 7 million came from one source that honestly, I know you kind of enjoy doing it, like interacting. Because if you guys have ever seen, I mean, I'm part of her inner circle. It's fun. It's not a group about real estate at all. It is all fun. She celebrates birthdays. I mean, she's going to go over some of the things in the presentation, but it's a fun group. So to be able to generate $7 million of business from something that, yeah, it takes time. Don't think it, we're not saying it's easy, because Josie does take time to purposefully and intentionally make posts and interact with people. But 7 million to me, listen, I just said, I wish I owned that. Like, I'm going to be creating my own after this. Like, I'm creating my own. So yeah.
And ours is strictly clients, right? And I know there are other people who run groups that are more public facing, where they get a lot of business from that too, right? So imagine what we could do if we had decided to do more of a public type of group. So we'll get into all of that, but just to give you guys an idea, like this isn't just something that's like, oh yeah, like a fun side thing. It does take work to keep them engaged, right? But the ROI is exponential. So with that said, are there any questions? I'm screen sharing, so I can't see your
Yeah,
faces.
if
Do you
you,
have any questions?
I'll monitor the chat. One person just said, is it LaKayla? Is that how you say your name? LaKayla said, thanks.
Yes.
Rosie." Yep. So she just
Mhm.
said, thanks so much. But if we have any questions, I promise you, I'll pull them up for you guys.
Yes, ma'am. All right. So why Facebook group? So we pulled some stats from hootsuite.com. So it's down here to give them credit. And some of this I kind of already knew, right? And I actually know that a friend of mine who was at Glover U this week, she posted a image which supported this. So Facebook is still the number one most widely used social media platform, right? So direct access, meaning literally be where your people are. A lot of your people are on Facebook. So if you're not on Facebook, you're missing a huge opportunity to kind of market yourself. And then being able to provide a kind of close-knit group for them, a community. People love community. They want to feel connected to something. Even if you're an introvert, what is the term? I don't know if Lucy's on the
Introverted
call.
extrovert. You're an introvert.
Ambivert, I think
Amber.
is what it's called, an ambivert. So it's an introvert extrovert.
Right.
That is
And I
what I
want
am.
to, before you go, I'm sorry to keep interrupting, but I just wanted to let you
No,
know,
it's okay.
talk about the connection. And I know we'll go a little deeper in this, but Josie just said that they created their Facebook group during COVID when that was the only option. But what happened in that time was people went home to work, and most people didn't come back out from work. So a good bit of our population, I don't know the statistic, but I could guarantee it's close to the 50% mark, are work from home people who don't get that everyday interaction anymore, and they desire it. And so by you doing this, it's not just a COVID thing. This is what our new norm is. So think about that. Like, you are always coming from a place of contribution. You're pretty much creating a safe spot for people to come in and be who they are. So sorry, I just wanted to add that in there. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's a really great point. And then so Facebook specifically, like, yes, there's Instagram. We love Instagram. Yes, YouTube. Threads popped up last summer and it took, by storm. And yet still by a large margin, Facebook is still the number one social media platform. It's user friendly, broad audience, so meaning like there's the millennials, they're not on it as much, but they're still on it. It was like I think 19% or so of millennials, ranging to people over 65. So you get a good reach of people that you'll be able to kind of connect with, right? The average Facebook page has very low engagement, like less than 1%, thumbs down. So the difference of a page and a group, so I do want to make sure that distinction. So a group is going to be the community that you can create. You can make it private, you can make it public, right, for people to join. Your page is just something like a business page, right, where you do your posts and things like that. People don't join your page. They like your page. They can follow your page. You can put events through your page. You can run ads through your page. So some different things, like you can't run an ad in your group. You can create an event just for your group, like a private event. But the difference of having the page, the way the algorithm works, social media algorithms, right? The page just doesn't, it's not designed to necessarily push people to see the content on your page versus when you're in a group and you're doing posts, like you will see the triggers like so and so, posted in the group or made a comment or whatever the case is. So highly encourage creating a group in addition to a page, not instead of, but in addition to. About 91% of businesses have some kind of Facebook presence. It's said 65% of users enjoy watching their stories. And I thought that was really cute. It said that they like to feel connected. And Chris and I were just joking, like, who here I, I'm not the only one. Might like stalk some of your friends, right? You may not have talked in like 10 years, but you know that they had babies, you know that they got married, you know they were in Cabo last year, right? Because you're just following them on social media, you're following their stories. And so you still want to kind of stay in the know and you're happy to see whatever is happening in their world, even if you haven't actually just picked up the phone and called or texted them. And so think of the group like that. Even if your clients aren't engaging as much, it doesn't mean they're not paying attention to what you're doing, what you're posting. Like we have clients all the time who never come to an event, ever, but they will message us once or twice a year at least and say, thank you so much for never forgetting about me, inviting me. Like I see everything that you're doing and we appreciate it and blah, 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 blah. Like we are still top of mind. They have a referral. We may not have heard from them in a couple of years, but they'll still send the referral to us because we really solidified being that kind of number one seat, that top realtor in their world. The exclusivity of it, right? So creating a group does give a sense of exclusivity, the type of content that you might want to post, like I said, exclusive events, and then just creating like a closed environment for like the trust and the loyalty to, again, just be able to stay top of mind. And then this very massive, so 2 billion people log into Facebook every single day. So when I was saying number one social media platform, it's literally the third most searched website. Google, understandably, right? Like by a far range, then YouTube, and then Facebook. So that is kind of the hierarchy of how often people are logging in. And so it is a place where you will be able to reach the majority of your people. Not everybody has a Facebook account, but the majority of them do, however much they tap in or not. It's just a good resource.
Absolutely. Okay, so
Um,
Josie's going to talk a little bit more about this, but I wanted to say first decide what type of group to create. Like we all like, I don't know, we have a bunch of, this was an open group to anybody. So we don't just have realtors on here. We might have some insurance agents, attorneys. It just was open to everybody. So, but it doesn't have to be business related. And that's the best part about this is you are just wanting to connect with like-minded people. So I do belong, and I'm just going to give an example. I belong to a group in my area, the local city, and that local city moms. And so I belong to that group. There's 7,000 of us in that group. It started just a couple of years ago, and it was created by someone who recently moved to this area and wanted to connect with other moms. That's all. And so by her doing that, she opened a community for other moms who felt the same way. And so by her showing up as her genuine, authentic self, she connected, grew a business. Probably, I don't know how much she makes, but a like multi-figure business at this point, because she has 7,000 people in her group that feed each other. And then she has sponsors. We have group events that are all over town. We bring new people in. She highlights us. It's a great group. So when I'm saying that McDonough moms, think about that. Like, you don't have to just be business related at all. I would actually say the opposite, make it not business related, but provide value. She has localized group. I just talk about that, the business related, other niche groups that we'll brainstorm a little bit. But from your everyday life, what do you enjoy doing? Like, what do you think your unique value proposition is that you can help to help one other person? Because I promise you, if it could help one person, it could help another and another and another, and it just grows. So think about that when Josie's going through some of these slides.
And I just saw, Lakayla, in the comments, you're desiring to have a hub for classmates, colleagues to congregate, discuss aging parents and things related. I love that.
Those are all
So
great.
I'm going to call you out, if you don't mind, Lakayla. When you're saying classmates and colleagues, or like your old college classmates, for example, like you want just a niche group for them?
You're on mute, babe. Hold on.
First day on Zoom. I moved back to my hometown and I get questions all the time. So most of my like high school classmates their parents are probably 70 plus and many are 80. I knew where they grew up. So a lot of those neighborhoods are 2-story homes. So people have questions. I basically want a place where people can come and feel safe and everybody doesn't have to start from ground zero, knowing resources and things that are available to their parents. That's the idea behind it, but I have not sat down to build it out.
Okay,
So
you just came up with your whole value proposition. You need to write that all down right there, because when you're starting that group, that's what you're going to propose. You're going to get on that camera and say, or put it in a post, whatever that is, and you're going to connect with people who feel like, I need that. And so you just created that whole brainstorm right there. So I love that.
Right.
I will go back and listen to what I said.
Yes, because we're going to send this out. Yes, write it down.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
And it's not something that just has to be like your class. If you want to keep it tight, but that's something that a lot of people would be able to like. I don't know of any group near me, right, that has something like that. So you can definitely create something like in your town, your neighborhood, like your area.
Yeah, I do want to open it up. It doesn't have to be limited.
Right. And it's just thinking of a name that would easily draw people to understand, like, what is this group, right? But I love that idea. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yep.
And so we do have tons of different ideas here on types of groups, right, that you can create based on those 4 buckets on the previous screen. So this one is one you might want to take a picture of, right? Or just write it down really fast. So the client focus is the obvious one, like your past clients, active clients, your VIPs. So our client group, for example, is all of our clients past. The active ones that we know are like, they're already Raven fans, like they're not going anywhere, we will add them in, but we do kind of have it like you need to graduate to a past client for the most part to be added into our group. Or the VIPs. So maybe you're not a client, but someone that regularly sends us referrals or things like that. You get added as kind of a special treat, right? And for us, we also have our top vendor partners. So we have a specific preferred vendor list that we give out in consultations. So the people on that list are invited to be in the group. So like our top lenders, attorneys, so there's multiple of them. And even for some of the content wise, like when we've had lenders that have ranked, among their national stats, whatever, like they do their posts, I'll share it into the group and I'll give them their flowers. I'll congratulate them because a bunch of people in the group were their clients too, right? And I don't do it just for just one. So if you're a different lender, you post whatever, I'll do it for you, right? So it's just another way to kind of add content. And then the people who do know that person, because that was their lender, they can help comment, congratulate them. You know, the lenders, even though they might be competitors, they're still colleagues, the same way like we're still colleagues with our different realtors in the area, right? So they can still kind of cheer each other on. And just, again, it's all about creating that community. So that's kind of one idea. Lead gen specific, like we also have a private investor group that we created last year because we want to target our investor clients more. We already do a decent amount of like investor business, some commercial business, and yet we want to really have that be a bigger bucket within our kind of list of things. Or even like a first-time home buyers group, for example. You could do a group with like exclusive property listings for sale, maybe off market, maybe you do wholesaling. B2B is business to business, so networking groups. Parents from school or kids activities, so think like literally just you could create like a school group with the parents, or you could be, you know, if your kids are in like a basketball team, maybe you just want a group with like just the other basketball moms or something like that.
Or
Any
even
other sports
county,
related.
like the
What was
county
that?
you live in, like you can do the county, you know, if you're a mom in that, you can do, I live in Henry County, you can do Henry County moms. And so you're
Right.
connecting with all people who their kids go to a Henry County school. So you can post calendars and that, see, I'm thinking like what value can you give easily? And so you can post calendars, the sports events that are going on in all of the schools, the PTA meetings, all of that. That's a value that people can go in one spot, because I know what a pain in the neck it is for me to like search and where to find what's going on in the schools. And I have to find it from this. So if you create that central hub where people are going to use that as the resource, they're going to come there and be like, oh, Josie's group has everything in it. You know, the Henry County Moms has everything I need in it. That's the only place I have to go. So think about that when you're thinking of these groups. Like, I know we want to think exclusivity, but how do we get exclusive but broaden that we can connect with the people we want to connect with?
Right, absolutely. So that would be like a localized kind of niche group. So Henry County moms, I have one near me that's like Stratford moms. So I live in the town of Stratford in Connecticut. So making it hyper local could be like your town, it could be your city, it could be your neighborhood if you're in like a really kind of close-knit neighborhood. There actually is a couple neighborhood groups for the neighborhood I used to live in, right, that I'm still a part of on Facebook. And even that, like once you join a group, it's not typical that you leave the group. So talk about again staying top of mind. Like once you get them in, they're in. Other sports related, I'm not a sports person, but you know, a couple examples. Pickleball, I know is super popular these days. So like having a pickleball group for your area, fantasy, you know, sports fantasy games, different other types of sports groups for you sports folks. Meetup groups, if you've never heard of meetup groups, like literally I think it's meetups.com is a website where you can join different meetup groups in your area that meet up in person to do things. So think of it like that, but for Facebook. So creating a Facebook group for single moms, divorced people, nature lovers, right? Just the things to do. Like maybe you have people who come new to the area, right? And so you're just trying to create a group where you can kind of set up activities like let's go hiking, or let's all, you know, a handful of us meet for happy hour, whatever the case is. Um, book clubs, pet lovers, so that dog versus cat, like maybe you just want like Henry County dog moms, for example, versus like all pet lovers, right? Health and fitness, mindset focus. So Val, for example, my sister Valerie, started a group with one of our attorneys actually called CEO Mindset Success back in the fall. And so it was kind of inspired by Pivot, except this is for just entrepreneurs. Like we have a lot of entrepreneurs that we're regularly networking with, and our attorney wanted to do something as well. And so every morning they have a mastermind call where anybody in any kind of industry, you know, can join. Then they talk about different mindset things. A lot of times they might talk about different books, different presentations. There's different people who present every day throughout the week or whatever. So mindset focus, really kind of just helping people who, you know, we get that support in a lot of our communities, especially if you're in Pivot or Inspire, for example. If you're a TREOI community member, you know, we support you guys, but not everybody gets that. Not everybody has like a community where they can tap into. So create that for them. People are grateful for resources like that. Tag
Josie,
sale groups.
I was
Yes.
going to say we have some comments. So What about groups for children of aging parents? That's a great one because guess what? Aging parents are going to be lonely. I hate to say it, but they're empty nesters. So if their children are going off to college or moving out, whatever that is, like they want that connection because now they have time. And so maybe you do create that. That's great.
And
Joanne
it's similar
said
to
that.
LaKayla's idea also.
Yep. And then so we have another one that says, I do have a sports group that I run, which is fun, just trying to figure out how to turn that into something more. This is it. The playbook's going to teach you how to do that step by step. But it's about connecting and what you already enjoy. And that's what we want to really hone in, guys, because this is time and effort. So make sure it is something that you're either versed on, like you don't have to spend a whole lot of time of researching it. You know enough about it that you can get started and pour that value into people because that's what they're going to be looking for. And if it feels forced, they're going to feel that. So make sure it is something you are passionate about. Like she said, pickleball. Like if you play pickleball, even if you're not great, but you love it, start a group. Because I promise you, there's other pickleball lovers out there. It's like the hottest thing. So, but yes, go ahead, Josie. I just wanted to
Yeah, no,
if I ever
no, you are
interrupt,
on
I'm just gonna
point.
jump in because
Because I can't see. Yeah, yeah, no, I
you can't see
appreciate
it.
you. I appreciate you. Okay, so next is the how to, right? So this is again more of the technical, kind of an overview. Um, there's the personal versus business. So that's meaning like when you go to create the group, right? So this is literally how to create the Facebook group. You can choose if you have a business page, and I know not everybody might. So if you have a business page, you can choose your business profile or choose to create it under your personal profile, right? Um, I do suggest creating it if you're trying to promote your real estate business, creating it under your real estate business, or we might have some non-realtors on this call actually, because I had a couple of like attorneys and people reach out that also wanted to take this because you can create a group for really any industry or any purpose. So if you have a business page, I do suggest creating it under there and then just adding yourself as an admin for your personal account. I'm a big proponent of Canva. I talk about Canva all the time. Chris talks about Canva all the time. So for the cover photo, I like to suggest use Canva. There's so many templates, and you can search the sizing of it as well for a Facebook cover photo in Canva and make something that's a little bit fun, not kind of like your standard, again, even if it's for your real estate business, I wouldn't just put like a photo of a house, right? Like something that people are going to feel connected to when they go into the group, for example. Utilizing Admin Assist. So Admin Assist is sort of a built-in software within Facebook that helps with some automation. So I would definitely suggest using some of the tools even. You can do like automated post approvals, comment approvals. It can automatically approve members for you if you have a group where the members need approval to join, right? And it can even make auto posts for you. So sometimes like when you see those like welcome posts, posts that are like there's certain groups where they don't want you right to promote like your business but once a week, so every Friday you might see the same post like today is small business Friday, drop your services in the comments, right? Like that is something that Admin Assist can do for you, for example. So just it's a leverage tool. It's this little icon here that you'll see in Facebook. And then the last kind of how to is update all of the settings. So there is a lot of settings when you are in Facebook creating the group. I do recommend creating it from a desktop. You can technically do it from your phone, but there's just way too many features and intricacies. So I would say on your laptop, your desktop, and create that. Don't take shortcuts. The more thorough that you can be, just go through all the setting features from the beginning. So then that way, like it's good and you don't need to adjust things after the fact. And so with that said, so tomorrow, like we said, tomorrow morning, check your inbox. You are going to get this playbook, how to create a Facebook group. It is literally just a step-by-step workbook playbook. It's going to guide you through the technical process of creating and managing the online community. So this is not going to have the notes from the class. It's just going to literally be the step-by-step of how to create the group. So like I said, it's for my less tech-savvy people. So I hope you find this helpful. And if you have any questions, just reach out to us and we'd be happy to help you with that.
And if any of you know anything about Josie, she's so detailed. I looked through all the details that she put into the step by step, and it will take you step by step. It's chewed up for you guys. So it's
Very
amazing.
granular. Yeah, like
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's amazing. So that's why carve out the time, sit down, put it on your calendar, and take this seriously. This is an extension of your business and a lead generation tool that doesn't necessarily cost money up front, but it's your time, which your time is money. So put the work in up front because you want it to look professional. You want to draw those people in and you want to keep those people. So when you are doing all this, don't take shortcuts. It might take you an hour to 2 hours to really get the graphics right. And I'm talking about like creating the graphics but I promise you, $7 million is nothing to shake a stick at. I can't get sayings right, so hopefully I said that right. But um uh just saying, if I could create a
Yeah,
group,
you're not wrong. You're
it
not wrong.
that's a first.
And there is actually a kind of brainstorming page in there, which Miss Carissa designed for you guys. So even if you have an existing group, you can flip through because then your group is already set up, but there might be certain features that you've never activated or never looked at, and just kind of just take a quick glance in case there are things that you want to go back and modify. This will kind of give you some heads up on some of those features as well. Okay. Um, okay, so now let's get into some engagement. So keeping the members engaged, like we said, is it's gonna take a lot of work. It really is. And when I say a lot of work, like I mean a couple of posts a week minimum is what I would suggest. Like I'm not posting every day in our client group and like nobody else is, right? Well, that's not true. We have one member, bless his heart, who posts a quote every single morning. And he has a business page where he posts a quote every day and he just ends up sharing the same quote into our group. So really just bless his heart because they're all motivational quotes. I love, a lot of people love motivational quotes. So that helps. But even if he didn't do it, it'd be fine. So just putting content though to draw them in every so often. Nobody necessarily needs to be spammed right on Facebook, but keeping them engaged, and then just remember to have fun. Like the more fun that you have with the group and with the content, the more fun your people will have. So I put this image here. This is actually the cover photo for our Facebook group currently. So it's the inner circle, like I said. And this was a picture from one of our client events that we did a couple years ago. And it was just a handful of people. Like we may have had 50 people show up at the event, but we were able to get this really fun photo. And I had a previous one before, it's actually in the playbook. The previous one still had images of different clients so that when people go into the group, for one, sometimes if you just get like an invite to join a group, depending on what the name of the group is, people may not be sure what it is, right? Going into it to see the cover photo helps with the recognition. So they're like, oh, okay, this is this person's group or whatever the case is. When they come into our group now and then they see that as kind of the cover photo, it just elicits feelings of kind of energy and excitement and joy, positivity, right? Feelings like reminders of did you come to the event, like remember how fun it was. If you didn't come to this one maybe but you came to other ones, like it can help trigger fun memories
It
for
does.
previous
I want to
events.
I want to
Yeah.
say it really does because I know the purpose of these groups. I told you I belong to a large one in my area. And when I go to the events and we do a group photo together like this, like we had one for Mom's Night Out. We did like Moms in the City and we all got dressed up and had this like, fancy drinks and hors d'oeuvres, all that stuff. But afterwards, we took a photo all together. There was probably about 50 or 60 of us that showed up. And I kept checking the Facebook group to see if they uploaded the photo because I'm like, I want to be part of it. So I wanted to see me in the group photo that they had up for the screensaver. I know that sounds so corny, but like I wanted to be part of it. Like I'm like, I want to see me in there. And so I kept checking back on the page and it was uploaded and I was like, now I'm part of it. So it's serious. Like people want to be seen on there.
Well, fun. And so we have provided again, tons of ideas. So another one where you might want to take a picture of how you can engage your group members. Do you want to run through some of these? Because I'm about to have a
Yeah.
little mini coughing fit.
No,
So
it's all
still
good.
recovering.
I know. I was like, you can punch me in anytime. So, or slap me in, I can't get things right. I told you already. All right. So some of the ones that are easy, once you have their birthdays, do birthday shout outs. People want birthday shout outs. I know on Josie's on Josie's page, they do a once a month, here's April birthdays, and they give shout outs to everybody's birthday in there. Personal congratulations, she already talked about, like on closing. So if you're connected in that community and you're friends with them, not only on the group, but if you're not a realtor, I'm saying, and you see that they closed on a house, give that a shout out. If you see that they had a baby, give that shout out on there, because they're seeing that you're paying attention and you're throwing them in the spotlight. And believe it or not, even people are like, oh, I don't want spotlight. They want it, especially if they're part of the group. Theme raffles and contests. So Josie's team is big on that. They do all the time. They do raffles once a month. You do like a raffle once a month, right? Like a contest.
No, a few times a year though, for specifically for our inner circle, like it's on the GPS to do at least once a quarter. So we'll do like a Valentine's Day every year giveaway. We'll do like Mother's Day raffle, Father's Day raffle, things like that. And then also for the birthday shout outs, we do a monthly birthday raffle. That was actually an idea that came from one of my sisters, who is one of our top referring partners that's not licensed. And she had asked, like, we used to do a referral raffle. If you send us a referral, you get entered in to win a raffle every month. And then one month she was like, oh, what was the birthday? Did you do the birthday raffles yet? And I was like, oh, no, it's not a birthday raffle. It's a referral raffle. But I was like, but I actually love your idea more because it can get more people involved. And so if you're in the group, you have to be in the Facebook group. We'll do the shout out. And then everybody whose name is on the list for the shout outs, you get entered into the birthday raffle. So it also makes people, like, if we didn't have their birthday and then they see that we did the shout out and they know we're going to do the raffle, they're like, oh, my birthday's in January too. Like, oh, okay, I'll add you to the raffle. Thanks for letting me know. And then we can update our record. So
yes.
The whole thing's cyclical. We do $25 Amazon gift card. It does not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I'm going to go back. I'm going to keep saying it just so you guys hear it. It's a $7 million group. So don't you think that these partners that she's talking to are willing to help contribute? Because listen, that's an easy conversation. We have this $7 million group. Do you want to be part of it? Great. This is what it looks like. We do this, this, and this throughout the year. So we do need contribution. Are you willing to contribute and be our top, recommended vendor when it comes to lending or whatever that is? So think about
that. A raised hand.
Yeah. So we do. Joanna.
Hi. So Josie, do you go looking for their birthdays, or do you ask whose birthday's coming up next month?
So I am gonna be honest, and I go looking for it. And it's probably not the most efficient way to do it, but I am intentional about like I also manage my sister's personal Facebook for the most part. And so I will friend request clients very often, right? Even if we haven't closed, because I just want to get them in at least on the friend level on Facebook, right? So that they feel more familiar with us. And then I go through her upcoming birthdays, right, in Facebook to see because sometimes there might be people who newly joined or whatever, but I'll go back. So like I went back to 2022. I pulled all my January birthdays from last year, and then I just kind of went through again to make sure that there weren't any new birthdays, for example. So that's how I do it. And again, because you have to be in the group, so I go to Facebook as opposed to going to the birthdays in our CRM.
No, I don't have a VIP group quite yet. But I am part of Josie's group and I am part of another one. But I do stalk people on Facebook for my CRM for their birthdays. So I do go into the Facebook. On Facebook, there is I'll see if I can find it and send it to you guys, but there's a place where you can pull up all of your friends and it'll tell you all their birthdays, right? Like in a row. So that's one of my audits once a month. I spend 1 hour doing that. I don't go down the rabbit hole, because you can go down the rabbit hole, but I do put it on my calendar for 1 hour a month to go through Facebook, and anybody that I have in my client relationship management tool, CRM, I make sure I have their birthday if it's on Facebook. So I'm updating it constantly. So that is a best practice.
That's awesome. And I just want to put in the chat. So Nisi is asking, so if you're in this class right now and you have like a VIP group specifically, can you drop some ideas in the chat for her, like what you name yours? I love Tony's answer. She works with Valerie Presley. And theirs is Val's Very Important People. So Val's VIP. I love that. That's super cute, Tony. Ours, like I said, is Inner Circle, but it's not just our VIPs. It's all of our clients. We do have our VIPs tagged in our CRM as a VIP so that when we do specific VIP events, and then we just call them VIPs. But for Facebook, we just have our one inner circle Facebook group. But if you have other VIP groups, drop them in the chat and would love to get those answers.
And I, while we're on this call, I'll see if I can pull it up where I find it. I know it's in there, but I pull it up every month, so I'll tell you exactly where it is.
Yeah, awesome. So in the essence of time, we're going to run through some of these. So there's this whole section here about hosting virtual events. It is a Facebook group, so lean into the virtual like abilities, right? A lot of these, like I said, we did at the beginning of COVID more than we do now. Now we try to go back towards in person, but like virtual story time, that one's more for the kids. Just let them put their kids in front of the computer while they go do their thing, and then just literally reading some kids' stories. The kids loved it and the parents loved it. Virtual workouts. We have a friend who's a personal trainer, and she was working out every Saturday with kind of a small group, anyways, virtually. And so she just allowed us to have the Zoom link so that our people could join. We streamed it into the Facebook group as well, I believe, at the time. And then if you wanted to or not, kind of you could see people working out. It kind of gets you in the energy of wanting to work out as well. Virtual bingo is literally the most popular virtual event that we do every year. We do it once a year because of how popular it is, just for the inner circle as well. We do real prizes that typically are linked to Amazon. It's a very inexpensive thing to do. It's like $10 to get the bingo cards, and there's a website, I don't remember what it's called. It might be like myfreebingo.com, something like that. And yeah, so virtual bingo, you can do virtual cooking, baking classes, virtual wine tasting. Literally, there's lots of different things that you can do um, in a virtual space. So whether it's like just your clients or whether you're creating like a big community group, but still ways that you can help them connect with each other and you can connect with them virtually. Doing in-person meetups. So again, even if it's like a public facing group, jewelry and clothing swaps, like a charcuterie board making class, like I said before, like a hiking trip, play dates. So the stay-at-home moms, like they want adult play dates, okay? So it's a play date for the kids, but it's really for the moms to just be able to get out of their house, right? So things like that. How can you help people kind of get together? Doing different community events, like you can host like community headshots, content creation events, doing family photos, like get your photographer involved to help take photos of like pictures with Santa, or like the fall photos are popular, right? Your typical real estate workshops, different local fundraisers like food drives, clothing drives, like people love to give back, right? Backpack drive, our backpack giveaway last summer was one of the most successful events we've ever done, and we had I don't know, probably close to 1,000 people that came through that event, and it was just a big community event that we did, right? So that took a lot to plan and put together, but did it keep us top of mind? Did it draw a lot of new people into our world? Absolutely. So any other ideas that you want to throw in there?
Yeah, does anybody currently run a page that they do something in, or part of one that they join and they actually participate in? Board classes. Somebody asked, can you give an example of a board class? Board class.
Oh, charcuterie board. It's cut off. Charcuterie board class. You
Yeah.
know, like making the charcuterie boards. There's people who like teach how to do that now. So you
Yeah.
can, yeah.
Thank you.
Like making it fancy.
Right. Yeah. Gardening. That's another good one. Yeah. Crafts, any kind of crafts group for sure. Those people who,
Rodney said the Starbucks gift card barcode. We actually did that.
oh, yep. Yeah. The free
so,
coffee on us. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So what we're telling you is we preach it. We do have a niche group for the Real Estate Operations Institute. And that was one of our main priorities in putting this together, is having that so we have a community of people who can benefit from each other. So we want ideas in there. We want like we do other classes in there for our niche group. So it's that value. So just think about that. And those type of groups. Hold on.
Yeah. And I
Would you-
apologize, Jessica.
Yeah.
These are not part of the virtual. So it's this kind of slightly indented. And then these would be in-person events. Yeah. Jewelry, clothing swap. You could do a jewelry class virtually, like the people who sell the jewelry and things, like where you could do it on Zoom, where they can talk about their jewelries and kind of put their orders or whatever. you might be able to even do that virtually if people just have the jewelry and take names or things like that. But yeah, those were not meant to be virtual
Yeah, I
birthdays.
would say with
Just
that could be just so that you're not just doing the group in regards to jewelry or clothing swap. You can do maybe someone who like a work from home, like, or a craft mom group, and
right.
you do once a month where, hey, I have all these, guys, I have ADHD and I start 3,000 projects, and when I start a project I buy everything for that project. So I would love to have somebody who could utilize it. So in our group we do have like, do you have something that I need, or do you have something, vice versa. So putting on there, like if you had that, hey, I have this beater that I don't even know that's what it's called, but give it away, and you can do stuff like that within the group. So
Yeah, very fun. So most of these are like event, right, engagement type ideas, and these are posting more type ideas, like your motivational posts, your what's happening, local news trends. But think not just like realistic. You could put your market update if you wanted, right? Because it's local news, but it could also be like, hey, did you guys hear that there's a new restaurant like opening up? We used to sponsor summer beach movies with kind of one of our lender partners who was on the beach, I don't know what they call it, the beach like community board or whatever. And they did summer movies. And so we would post the movie right into the group to kind of invite people. It was exclusive to the town. So not everybody in our group was part of this town, but we'd let them know, like, hey, if you're in the town of Stratford, then here's the beach movie for this Friday. Like, we hope we'll see you there, right? So just different ways to let people know, like, of other things that they can do to stay involved. And so with that said, take a breath, right? Like you might be thinking like, oh no, I don't think so. Like nobody ever said that you have to pay for all of this, right? Your main role is to be the connector. So just think of yourself as kind of the conduit, right? How do I get these clients or these group members to this activity or whatever? You might be the person setting it up, but you're not the one paying for everything. So I know a friend of mine, Karina, who many of you might know, she's an agent in South Carolina, and she has a group called Irmo Ladies Group, I believe. And so she essentially did it in her area, right? It's a localized niche group, and she does events once a month where it might be wine tasting, it might be like a class or whatever. They pay to participate, right? Paint and sip, like whatever the case is. She just sets it up. So again, you don't have to be the one necessarily to pay. Some of the things you might want to, especially if it's a client group, but other things, you're just making the connections, you're just setting it up for them to participate. So wanted to make sure to put that out there. And I see another
yes,
question.
Jessica is asking, she said it's a little bit off topic, so we might not be able to go down that rabbit hole because we only have 9 minutes left, but she was asking how to clean up the Facebook page and make it more professional. So I don't know if you can give any quick advice. Maybe we'll come
Oh,
back
your
to that.
personal Facebook
Yes.
page
So
to
let's
make
put,
it. You just start. That's the best advice.
that's what
Like
I
I
was
wouldn't
gonna
worry
say.
about cleaning it up unless you have some like really, on there. Then just archive, delete your post. But just change the direction of what you're posting. Yeah,
Yeah.
just so from today, and maybe wait a little bit before you start friend requesting like clients if you want. Most people don't start scrolling back on your Facebook feed. They might on your Instagram feed, but not really as much on Facebook if you friend request somebody. So, you can just start adding in more professional posts. Or I don't even recommend doing like real estate posts when you're talking about your personal page all the time. Your personal page, even your business page, honestly, people want a little bit of the work, the real estate, but they also want to know just like what's happening, what's your everyday kind of world looking like, right? So just putting more of that perhaps into your personal Facebook page, and then start to invite your clients to be friends with you.
Yeah. And the recommendation I would give, just to wrap that up, put it on your calendar and spend so much time. I just said I spend 1 hour because you can go down the rabbit hole. So maybe
Yep.
you give yourself 30 minutes a day to clean up. You make a list of friends, pictures, posts, and you take 30 minutes every day and spend 30 minutes cleaning that section, and then 30 minutes adding new valuable information on there. So time block it on your calendar and then just start hacking away like Josie said.
Yeah, absolutely. And then so partnering with others. So again, depending on what kind of niche that you choose, Think about who it makes sense to partner with, but then also give them the ideas and the feedback on how they can support you and support the group, right? So like we have our team, our group is just, it's a team group. It's, you know, we run it, right? But if we wanted to, we could partner specifically with like one lender, not have the other preferred vendors in there, and just have like one lender, one attorney, a home inspector, and a contractor, and then like us be kind of the group admins. Board of directors is a term that another friend of mine uses, Isabel, for the group that she runs, right? Having like the board of directors who is going to be in charge of managing the group and engaging with the group. So think about that. Try to get at least 2 to 3 people involved. Like, so if you're a solo agent, especially, that's where I would say get other people involved to help you manage with like post content and engagement. And if you do try to, you know, arrange events and things like that, it's a lot easier if you do have some help. And so being able to leverage your network, Miss Carissa.
Okay, so when you are talking about your network, you're talking about your, Josie kind of touched on a little bit, but your team members, your team admin, if you have one, if you are the admin, take in charge of it. Younger people you're close. This is my favorite because I have 2 teenage kids, and I pay them in like Chipotle. I'm just saying, my kids are like obsessed with Chipotle. So, hey, I need to do X, Y, Z. And then they're also more tech savvy if you think about it, because this is what they do. They're on their phones all the time. They're on whatever platform and they know what's trending. Cause I'll ask my daughter, I'll be like, what sounds trending? What video is trending? Cause you try to get ahead of the curve. So, other group members who are highly active. So once you do get your group going, you know who your raving fans are. You know who is going to recruit your recruiters, people who are like, come join this group. Partner with them because they want to be part of something. And if you give them a title, like Josie said, even if it's a board of directors, you want to be part of my board of directors? Yes. Stay-at-home moms. If you have someone you know who's a stay-at-home mom who could help with this and benefit from it, maybe we were talking about jewelry, maybe she does jewelry from home, and you can figure out how you can incorporate and highlight her on there. But definitely partner with whomever it makes sense to partner with and who aligns with you. Again, we want it to be in that alignment because it is work, but we don't want it to be another burden on us where we dread it and we're forgetting it because we put all this work into it, and we don't want it to just go to waste. So I know one of the things we talked about, Josie and I, was when you partner with your lenders and your pest control or your attorneys, have them agree to teach a class once a month, something that they can benefit from your community. So if it's an attorney that you're partnering with and they can talk about, starting a trust and the benefits of starting a trust for your family, like, I'm sure a lot of people know a little bit about it, but you can go a little deeper. So
yeah, for our investor club group. So we don't have any of our vendors in that group, but we have invited them to we do a monthly class for the group. So we've invited some of the lenders like to be, a speaker, do one of the presentations. You know how excited they are to get in front? Like this is basically an entire potential group of lead gen for them to talk about what program do you have that you can offer our investors that might be of benefit to them. They're always excited to just jump on, and ours are on an evening when we do it for that specific group. We do it like 7 to 8 p.m. or whatever. And it's an hour, they jump on, they're engaged, they're excited. So yeah, have people, sponsors that might want to kind of get involved. Even think of like restaurants and venues that you can partner with, where you can get discounts, like your contractors. If you regularly refer like a vendor or a contractor to kind of do a service, they should be willing to give your clients discounts. Like how much business are you sending them? Okay, so if I start sending you people, can you give them 5% off even, so that you can make that part of your value proposition? Like, here, if you want to give my person a call, like it's still your choice to use them, but because you're my client, they will give my clients, a special discount of blah, blah, blah.
Right. I have a
So
lender that actually pays for the appraisal if they come from me. Like, so it's like it's a bit, like I said, figure out how you can leverage what you already have.
Right. And you're adding value for $0 from your own pocket. So definitely think of all of those things. And really, with that said, that was kind of the last piece that we wanted to really hit home with you on. So we have time for maybe about 2 questions if anyone has any questions.
We want to be super respectful of your time.
Yeah.
And we hope you got something out of this, some ideas.
Hope you got a lot out of it.
Yeah. Well, the playbook is really what is gonna put the
Well, that'll be the how to, yeah. So if you
Yeah.
don't have a group, it'll teach you how to create it. And then this whole presentation will teach you how to like manage and engage with it.
Yeah, this is more the creative aspect. So
Exactly.
does anybody have anything they want to ask?
Oh, perfect. Just seeing the comments.
Yeah.
Yes, very thought-provoking. Thank you. And so we would love for you to connect with us, right? So, like I said, we run the Real Estate Operations Institute together. We both do coaching for ops and for admins as well, independently. And you can check out our website, therealestateoperationsinstitute.com. You can connect with us. You can scan any of these QR codes. This is for our Facebook page, our Instagram page, our YouTube channel, so that you can kind of just stay in the loop of different classes and things we offer. And definitely subscribe to our newsletter. So if you go to our website, go all the way to the bottom, we send out a monthly newsletter where we send out a featured freebie of the month. So like this month, we sent a free transaction coordinator mini guide. So to help you, or help your TC, your admin, whoever with the transactions. Last month, we sent out a hiring kind of guide if you're looking to hire like team members or whatever for the year. Different things like that. We'll do some motivational. We include, a lot of different things. So definitely connect to stay in the know with us.